Hello, welcome back. In this video, let's go over the curriculum for this 9-week certification program. We've created this program with 2 modules, and the first module is slightly longer, it's 5 weeks in it, and then the second module is 4 weeks. Both of these modules end with a capstone project that you have to deliver as a team is preferred or individually. And if you meet the requirements, you get certified. But let's look at what we cover in these modules. So at a high level, module 1, maybe the core theme of it is the building blocks of fine-tuning and then executing a fine-tuning exercise or a project on a given base model. Okay, so you have a particular use case, you have a data set, and you take the most appropriate base model, large language models you can find, an open weights model, and we will go through the exercise of fine-tuning it, packaging it, and then getting it ready for deployment, which will be the part of second module. So again, module 1 is about that fine-tuning exercise on a large language model. It's divided into 5 weeks. The last week, week 5, would be where you work on your project, the capstone project. So the journey is this. Week 1, we basically start with the landscape of language models in general, and then get into large language models and the taxonomy, the various types of large language models we have, what is their purpose, and then we get into why you would fine-tune a model, and we go through leaderboards, benchmarks for selecting a base model that you would want to potentially use. And finally, we do a fun exercise in week 1. Normally we keep week 1 light, but we wanted to do a fun exercise. So in week 1, you will end with reproducing a benchmark on the Hugging Face leaderboard. If you don't know what that is, Hugging Face leaderboards, benchmarks, don't worry, we'll go through that in week 1. Okay, so that's the part of our first week. Second week really are the core parts. Now we get into the building blocks of fine-tuning. A large part of it is in data set preparation, and how do you prepare the data sets for the fine-tuning task. We go through quantization, we talk about chunking, and various elements required in getting prepared for the fine-tuning work. And then finally, the most important part, as we cover in this course, is supervised fine-tuning, and the core technique that is predominantly used is parameter efficient fine-tuning, PEFT. Again, I'm throwing these terms at you. You will learn them during the course of the program. If this is the first time you're hearing them, don't worry. All of that will become during the course of the program. So yeah, week 2 is about all the building blocks of fine-tuning large language models. In week 3, we actually go through the exercise of doing the work. Okay, so we'll fine-tune a large language model on a data set that we'll find on the Hugging Face datasets package, and we'll also introduce a new tool, a new platform called RunPod in order to do that work. So that will be part of week 3, and then in week 4, we get into more advanced concepts related to that, and we talk about quantization, we talk about tracking your experiments, we talk about packaging, and so on. So that is part of the first 4 weeks. It really gives you all the information you need in order to conduct your project, and then that's when you can get into the capstone work in week 5, and that will be your core deliverable. So that's the module 1. Next we have module 2, and module 2 is really about when we start getting to more enterprise-centric elements of this program, which is getting into the cloud platforms, more enterprise grade. We start with AWS. Mind you, AWS is a very crucial skill you will need to pick, but it will not be easy. There's a lot of features, functionality that you will need to keep in mind as you get into AWS. Our goal is to get you introduced to it and become familiar, that you become confident in conducting your projects in AWS. So we have that in week 6. Week 7, now we start really using these cloud platforms for inference and deployment. We'll also introduce, and my personal favorite is deploying models on Modal. Make it very easy. It's serverless. If you don't know what that means, we'll explain that. So we'll introduce a few new platforms and tools in week 7 for deployment. And last week in the program, which is week 8, in terms of educational content, we get into, all right, when you deploy these models, you need to worry about security, safety, monitoring, some governance related aspects. So we talk about those other elements that generally AI engineers don't like to worry about, but those are necessary elements in any enterprise grade application of LLMs. So that will be the 3-week curriculum in module 2. Again, we start with AWS, we get into inference deployment on AWS, but also on other platforms, some easy to use, some more enterprise grade. And then finally, we talk about operations and reliability of LLM applications. So that would be required as you're part of Capstone Project 2, where you're required to deploy a model, implement monitoring, observability, and some additional requirements that are necessary for any real-world application. So this is a complete journey, and our goal here is to equip you with all the necessary knowledge to conduct these projects in industrial settings. So we hope you enjoy this.